Hey up everyone, how are we all doing? Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been too long, that's what it's been. I hope everyone's been well. As you can tell, there's a bit of change in the background at the minute. Mate, I'm 29. Give it up. Oh god, it's horrible. It's horrible. Another year, man. But look at this. This beautiful hoodie, man. My brother bought me this. I tell you what, I didn't even know we done hoodies like this. I only ever look online. I've never actually... I pass the Blue Store every Saturday and I've yet to really go in and have a butcher's, but he bought me this, man. And get this, do you remember the picture I met all the Blues lads? Right, look at that. Look at that, man. Me and the boys, just after training that was, after I'd laid Alfie May off for a few crosses, I was cutting in on the left, we were doing some passing drills. It was a good day, that was. How's everyone been? You okay? It's been good. Oh, man. It's been a minute, man. I tell you what, I hate international break. I can't stand it. You know my opinions on it. I don't really care about international football whatsoever. Even the big ones like the Euros and the World Cup, I don't really care. And that's just me. I'm not the biggest supporter of England. I'm just like whatever. I know I'll be shot in the comments for that, but I don't know. It's just not something that really interests me. I just find the pace of international football. Don't get me wrong. I love a good penalty shootout when it's not against bloody Warsaw. I do love a penner, but I don't know, I've just never really enjoyed international football. Maybe that's because I've just had to deal with 8 to 12 years of Gareth Southgate, who I can't stand. I couldn't stand him. I think I don't want to go on a Southgate rant. I can't stand him. I think he's awful. But Cup roll on Monday. I tell you what, I've never seen so much media hype about a League One game in my life. And don't get me wrong, I didn't really pay an exceptional amount of attention to League One before we was in it, if I'm completely honest. But even then, I feel like we've got Championship clubs, we've got Premier League clubs commenting. Just about the Monday night Hollywood fixture that everyone's kind of dubbed it. And don't get me wrong, I definitely get it. The narrative is there, and narratives create stories, and I get all of that. I'm more concerned with winning a game of football at the minute, because there's this kind of sense that Blues fans, they're not looking past Wrexham, but they're walking into it with an air of like, we've got a right to win it. We're at St Andrews, where the big fish in the small pond, as it were. And I'm not so eager to look past this game like it's going to be a walk in the park. If anything, looking at it stylistically, this is kind of the optimal game for Wrexham. As on paper it is us, so it kind of goes that one way where it could be the boring 0-0 fixture it's got written all over it, maybe the 1-0 screamer, or goals galore. It's gonna, it's hard to pick. I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game, if I'm completely honest. I think it'll be a high scoring game if Wrexham score first. If we score first, I think it's gonna go super cagey. I'm looking forward to it, don't get me wrong, I'm extremely nervous for it. I've been looking at a lot of things Wrexham fans seem to have their opinions. The Wrexham fans, they seem like a good bunch, to be honest. And I get everyone hates them. And I'm more predisposed to kind of liking them now, because we've been through that similar level of hate. But the Wrexham fans actually speak with a level of common sense. The ones that have been Wrexham fans for like more than 5-6 years, before the buyout. They seem to have a lot of common sense. They seem like decent people. And then you get the self-entitled ones that have, never been to Wrexham in their life. You know how it goes. Don't get me wrong, there's not a game this season that I don't back us to win. And I feel like a lot of Blues fans will feel the same. We walk into every game expecting to win. And to be fair, so we should. Because the money we spent, the players, the size of the club, kind of the big stadium tax that people will experience when they come in, I'm more interested. I want to see that lethality in front of goal. I don't know if that's a word. It is a word. But I feel like we have a lot of possession. We knock it around the final third a lot, and you just don't see much end product. So I just want to sort of start to move into that area where we can start to lump up a few goals and actually execute the plans, because they seem to fall apart right at the last pass or the last hurdle. So I'm more interested in seeing that executed. If we can see that's come a long way and we go on and draw the game or whatever, then I won't actually be as mad, even though, I can just already picture the whole of Twitter jumping on the Blues and saying, oh my God, you wasted so much money. There's how many games left, a stupid amount of games left. So I'm not too concerned with the result as much as I am the performance that we put on. I think the hype around the result is the message it sends, both from Wrexham and from us if we win it. It sends a message to the rest of the league. We're saying, we're ready to win it. We've just done the biggest other team. And I actually didn't have Wrexham to be this far up the table at the start of the season. I thought they were going to... I thought they'd push for playoffs, don't get me wrong. I thought they'd be 8th, 7th and then push for playoffs, 6th, 5th. I didn't expect them to be top of the table, looking as good as they are, because they look good. They look really good. There's a lot of ways you can approach the story from. I'm more looking forward to the sellout night. A sellout game at night just hits different under the lights. I can taste the balti pie already. I can taste my my Moretti. I'm not a big fan of the crust camper. I can taste my Moretti. I think it's going to be a brilliant night. And obviously, with Ashley Cole leaving this morning, that's been all over Twitter as well. From an outside point of view, it's hard to say how... what was the impact of Ashley Cole in and around the training ground? How effective was he in the coaching position? I understand he's effective in terms of the name he brings and his credentials. The quality is unquestionable. For me, he's my favourite left back of all time. Me personally, I put him as the best left back of all time. I get your Roberto Carlos's and your Marcelo's were better at getting forward, and I get your Maldini was a bit more solid defensively maybe, but I think as the complete package, I think he just had everything. That's just me. So look, I'm definitely a fan of him as a player. I just don't know how effective he was as a coach. It'd be interesting to see who we replace him with and how effective that person now is, and do we see, we've been very effective in set pieces, especially with the signing of Christian Clara. Last season we weren't effective at all. I think we scored 1, maybe 2. So I am more interested to see who he's replaced with, and I'm not necessarily worried about having a big name. That doesn't bother me at all. If we brought in a guy that was on set pieces at a team that were very effective with set pieces, I'd be more than happy with that. So yeah, there's lots of stuff going. I've had a friend message me the other day. I don't know if she's watching this video, but it made me laugh. Not sure how true this is. Who was it? Tom Brady, Ryan Reynolds, and Tom Cruise are in the Roost on Monday for a documentary. No, it was Tom Brady, David Beckham, and Tom Cruise in the Roost for a documentary. I was heaving at that. If that happened, obviously it's not going to happen. Why is Tom Cruise and David Beckham there? But it just proper got me. I think some of the rumours that have been floating around, he's just killing me. And I'd love a documentary more than anyone about the Blues. But I would also like the first and second episodes to be about what Blues fans have gone through for the last 10, 12 years. That's what I'm more interested in covering, because before we get started on this journey that we're about to embark on, I just want to get it out there to everyone. The Blues fans haven't had a reason to smile for the best part of 10, 12 years. It's been dog piss down there for a large amount of time, and that's not down to any one player or manager. It's down to the owners and just the neglect that we've run through. There's just the piss poor seasons, the seasons where you go out and you think, let's just hope we don't get relegated. When you're thinking, I hope not to get relegated on day one of the season, it just lines it up the way every loss is yeah, whatever, and every win's that could be our last. So I hope they solidify this in this documentary, that we're not just entitled scumbags that have had it good our whole lifetime. I feel like I've gone on a rant. I feel like this has gone from a very positive video to a moan. I don't mean it to sound like that. However, I'm sure Blues fans, you'll understand. My predictions for the Wrexham game. As we know, Blues dominate possession in every game. I think we're reaching 68%, which is insane to have as an average, by the way. Not only for a Blues team, but just for a team in general. We lack a bit of final product, and we've yet to keep a clean sheet. These are two things that concern me a little bit. Conversely, Wrexham don't mind not having a lot of the ball, are very effective up front and keep a clean sheet. So you look at it like that, it points to a Wrexham win. However, we've seen the quality of Blues. We very, very, very rarely lose at St Andrews, especially when it's sold out. I know people will point to the Walsall game and go, you lost that. I mean, like in the league, we very rarely lose. I think the last time we did was it Stoke at the end of last season? No, Cardiff at the end of last season, I think it was. So we very rarely lose at St Andrews, which points me more towards a draw than a win. So I'm going to go... Now, don't get me wrong, I want to win. I'd love to batter them 3-4, 5-0. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go for a Desmond. Yeah, I'm going to go for the draw. I'd love to win. Don't get me wrong, that's what I want. I can see a draw. 1-1, 2-2, something like that. I think there'll be goals. I can't see these two teams playing each other and it being a 0-0. That's my... I wish I could be a bit more optimistic. I just want to be surprised. Do you know, like last season we come out when we was playing Coventry and we thought I'd be happy with a draw or a 0-0 and we battered them 3-0. That's the kind of performance I'm hoping to see against Wrexham. But look, I'm looking forward to the narrative. I'm looking forward to the night. I'm really looking forward to see how this Jay Stansfield and Alfie May problem gets ironed out. Not that it's a problem. Wrong choice of words. That whole situation, this formation, I think it's very hard to talk about formations with Chris Davis because it's so fluid. You can talk about it on paper if you want, but it means very little when you start the game in the exact opposite. Whether it's a 3-5-3, a 3-4-1-3, or whichever way he wants to do it. I'm not even sure the numbers added up to bloody 10. But it's very hard. I kind of want to see this is how I play it. Let's just do this. This would probably be easier. We have Cochrane at left back. I'm kind of a fan at the minute of the Clara Bielik, so we'll keep that. I'm a big fan of that. It's obviously Samstead on the right. Unfortunately, Laird seems like he's injured for a while, which is great. Great vision from the club to listen to the fans and go, we need another right back for when this does inevitably happen, which it has. Okay, centre mid. I think it's Leonard and Paik for me. I'm a big fan of that Iwata, but this isn't the game I really want to be changing things. Do you know? You'll understand. If we're 2-0 up, get Iwata on. You know what I mean? See out the game 100%. And then the three in front of him for me, I've been thinking about this a lot. It's Williamson in the middle. For me, it's Hansen out on the right, Stands out on the left. Sorry, it's weird with the camera. It's all inverted. It's Hansen out on the left. It's Stansfield out on the right, and Alfie May up front. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm a FIFA merchant, but I'd have Alfie May more of a free roam in this position. It is risky with how much our right back gets forward, but because it's Samstead and not Laird, and he's less inclined to go forward at the pace and the duration that Laird does, I'd be happy to see Stansfield. These names, man. Stansfield in more of a free run position, floating around that front, and maybe even join Alfie May up front in a 2, so it actually turns into more of a 3-2-2-2. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I'm a YouTube guy. What do I know? This is, as a fan watching these players, that's what I think could work. Chris Davis is operating on a different level to any of us in terms of football knowledge and IQ. So whatever he does do, I trust in him completely. But as a fan of the game, that's kind of what I'm looking at, thinking that maybe could work. I don't know. Stansfield obviously has said in multiple interviews he doesn't want to be the lonesome striker. And when he does end up in a striking partnership, he likes to be the smaller guy out the 2 rather than the bigger one. So maybe given that everyone wants to play in space, so giving him that freedom out on the right, he done it plenty of times last year. Whereas in the Walsall game, we kind of seen him and May kind of switch, and May ended up putting balls into the box to the likes of Stansfield. But look, they've had 2 weeks to train, rest. That goes for both teams. So it's going to be an energetic game. I think a question that I've only just really considered while waffling is, does Wrexham have the fitness to keep up with Blues for 90 minutes? And that's not an insult on Wrexham. If you're a Wrexham fan watching this, let me explain. All our goals have come in the late period, and that's not just because we've left it late. it's almost by design. We keep such a high tempo and make you chase the ball so much that by the 70th minute we really start to dominate up the field. And by this point we've usually conceded a goal that we shouldn't have. I'll concede that. But you can see teams really start to struggle with keeping up with the runners, moving into the space. And we really start to hoof it around that part of the field in the final third, where it balls into the box on the outside of the box, just overworking the defence. And we do get a lot of goals from it. So I think the question is, if we are level going into the 70th minute, I think Blues really start to become massive favourites to get a goal and win that there. That's my opinion. But Wrexham love a clean sheet and they do play that old school football. But having said that, I keep seeing this thing where Wrexham don't like the ball, they hoof it long and they play this direct football. It's partly true, but if you actually watch the Wrexham games, they do knock it around. They can play that passing game if they want to. However, I just don't think they want to play the passing game, putting themselves at risk at the back like we do. They're not really willing to risk that accidental goal, but they can knock it around. They just don't by design, not because of lack of quality. You know, if a point comes in the game where we start to tire, I can't see it. Wrexham do have it in them to knock it around and play it out to the wings, back in and play like a possession-based system. So Blues fans, don't be surprised if you see them start to string some really nice pieces of football together. Okay, I felt like I've talked for way too long and I've said way too many words and I've talked way too fast. I'm just overly excited. I hope everyone's doing okay, man. It's been a pleasure speaking to you all again. Wrexham fans, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, I usually go to another club's channel and have a look at what they've got to say. So welcome to the channel if you're a Wrexham fan. Blues fans, I can't wait to see you down the game, man. Last time it was cool. Last time I was down the game, I saw a couple of subscribers, man, that give me a nice wave, and that's wicked for me. That is, and it's not an ego thing. It really, really isn't. It's just wicked because it's like I oftentimes go down the games on my own, if not with one friend. So when I see people I know down there, it's these wicked, man. I'm just like, hey, you're right, you're good, and I don't know. Funny story actually. I was walking home from, was it the Wigan game? I think it was the Wigan game. Come home and I'm walking through Digbluff, you know, as you're going down Digbluff towards town to get to Moore Street train station. Some guy come up and tap me on the shoulder. If you're watching this was brilliant. It proper got me at the time. He'd come up and he tapped me on the shoulder and he went, "I'll watch you on YouTube." It was kind of like no disrespect, he was an older fella, like 60s or whatever. He tapped me on the shoulder and he went, "I'll watch you on YouTube." And I went to say, "Oh, thanks mate, nice one." And he went, "Only when there's nothing else on the TV." And I was kind of like, thanks. Thanks. It's nice to know that I'm a good alternative to ITV News at 6. Do you know? It proper got me because, you know, you're like, oh, I don't know how to take that one. Proper got me. It's funny. Right, guys, I'm waffling way too much. I'll see you soon. I really look forward to seeing you down the game. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Drop a comment in. We'll have a chat in the comments. And I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Keep right on, guys.